Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Quantum Show. It is the panel. I am unpopulated right now because this is not a normal day for me to be doing this. And that's okay because I got to work tomorrow. So here I am. I went over some stuff, went over some slides that I made talking with a friend of mine, Joe from the panel here, and how to arrange the Mercury project, which is going forward. I feel like I'm dragging my feet, but more things keep coming up. This is not easy. It's not purely arts and crafts. I wish it was. I'd already have all my friends flying around on speeder bikes, but it's not a simple arts and crafts things because you know what? Here's what I'll talk about right now. I've got to worry about how this thing is going to work. It has to have an air mover. Levitating, that's where the Mercury comes in. That's all I understand about the Mercury, okay, is the anti-gravity aspect. And I have yet to do that part because I got to do this twice and reverse the polarity. So there are other things, and I need to figure these things out. Guidance system, how to steer while slow. I've already got some ideas. It's going to have an air mover on board. All right. It's going to have an air mover on board for any kind of forward movement, side, any kind of movement that's not hovering. The hover is taken care of by that, but reorienting it, I thought, what's the easiest way to do that? It's not a plane, okay? It floats, okay? It's not a plane. It's going to be a float thing. So I'm thinking to be able to reorient it. Hey, Lynn. Oh, okay. All right. Lynn is LA Moon is not going to be able to come on. I understand things happen, and I hope Millard's okay. I hope he's going to be okay and everything's fine. So you take care out there, Lynn. Hope he gets better and everybody gets good to go. Okay, I was talking about how am I going to give this thing a guidance system? Gyroscopic movement. Gyroscope is a spinning weight and it is not offset or anything like that. There are videos out there where you can watch a demonstration of a gyroscope making something move. A guy, here's what he does, right? He holds a bicycle tire on pegs. There's no bike, it's just the wheel and tire. He was, small hip fracture? That's not good. I know you'll take care of him, though. He's got you. Don't need nobody else. Except not to fall. So, okay, well, he's in good hands, Lynn. And also, okay, you take the bicycle wheel, right? And he spins it. It gets spin from the outside. He's holding it, nothing happens. He tilts it this way, his chair turns this way. He stops it, it rights itself. Turns right, it spins, it turns the chair that way, slowly. That is one axis, okay? That is this axis, and it is, yeah, not my first time at the rodeo, she says. Everyone, good vibes to Lynn. Family member has fallen and hurt themselves, and it's going to take some time to get over it, to grow past it. So good vibes to you, Lynn. Healing Network is available, whoever taps in, right? Yeah. Still humming. So I'm thinking to get the thing to turn on a dime, to turn while steady, is use gyroscopes. I'm talking all axes. right? All axes. Left, right being one of them. Up and down, more or less taken care of, but this will be a stabilization thing. And in the front, you would have, they're called canards, okay? The things that aren't wings, but like an elevator, and they will be like, like they'll be shaped like that. I need to actually design this stuff up. This is old news, okay? The very first airplane, Wright brothers, they used a forward mounted elevator. Remember the Wright brothers? There's a reason they did that. Very slow moving and needed immediate response. Put the elevator, they call that the up and down wing on the back. It's called the elevator. Put it on the front. So nose up. And what I'll be using is less of a wing and more of what you call a canard. And there will be canards back here too. And and then this is the first vehicle. I'm going to have shuttlecraft, right? I'm not promising a production model flying car. Go to David Wilcock for that one. I am going to be doing this personally and for me and for anyone who wants to pay for their Mercury and parts. They don't even have to pay for parts. I'm building it out of junk. Let's build some junk builds. They're the best ones. And so that would be the steering, right? Now, I've been looking at ATV off-road things like an altimeter. That's a big deal. And the thing that shows the plane, where it shows your tilt, your pitch and yaw, okay? That needs to be, those are all Jeep things. You can buy those for off-road stuff. A lot of them plug into the car computer. This won't be happening. It will be plugging into a Vimana. I need it to be independent and not have, hey, Sapphire. It needs to be independent, not talking to a car's computer interface. Can't have that because it's not going to have one. This is really tacking a bunch of stuff together and making it work. Safety. It's a speeder bike. Think speeder bike. Think motorcycle. It's going to have to have some way to tether you to it, because if you get turned upside down, it'll still fly. You won't. You will fall off. Don't want that. Don't want no repetition of indoor crashing moments. Okay. Yeah, perfect timing, Sapphire. I'm doing a panel, and so far I'm unpopulated, waiting on Raven. I'm talking about what I'm going over. I'm going over what I talked about and further thoughts. So I'm going to have the desktop. I'm going to have a speeder bike. And also, I'm going to have a shuttlecraft. I got to thinking, why not build my own Z95 Headhunter? There are people out there who have built X-Wing fighters, life-size. You can go and sit in them, and it's got special effects and everything. I bet I could equip one of those with this Vimana drive. It would also need to have an air mover of its own. Okay, dude. Sapphire says, still, things been rough recently. Yeah, I had a pretty rough day today, too. And I got to talk it out with the people involved. Because I was under one impression. I feel a little bit backstabbed. I feel a little bit let down, tricked. And I'm wondering, is there more to this? Because this person won't speak to me on a regular basis. Okay. Good to hear, Sapphire. You don't need the stress in your own head. External stress, don't need it. Just there's plenty of stress to go around already. That's okay. Thank you. Accepted. Thank you. And yeah, I did. I don't know. I'm not going to say call you out. I did make a comment, but it wasn't a call out at all. It was like, dude, something's up. But yeah, it's okay. It's all good. Yeah, just you know what to do, dude. It's all good. It's all good. And the ufology and mystic community, the quantum community, is gonna be here. We ain't going anywhere. Not if I could help it. So I have to worry about how to make this thing move, not just float. That's one thing. Power supply, check. Levitation, check. In theory. How to make this thing angle itself correctly? How do I do that? Now, once it's moving in a straight line, then the little wings canards will take over. And it'll do that like an airplane. But it will more like a missile, because missiles use canards. They don't use wings. Of course, a missile is using brute force to send itself from here to there. Rockets, same thing. They don't have wings. They have winglets and stuff. Okay, Lynn. Well, if you will check your Facebook, there is a link in there. I sent it to Frank. And if you're up to it, if all is good, all is well, then come on over. Let me see here. Yeah, I got it. It is in your Facebook Messenger. I sent it right before the show. And also to Raven. So, it's going to take some more parts to get this thing moving, right? Regulators have not come in yet. Going to need a regulator. And what I said in the first hour, I'll say it right now. I haven't plugged it all up and turned it all on yet because I don't know what it's going to do. If it goes faster than I think it's going to go, and I want to be able to, document everything, I don't want to splash mercury all over the place. Somebody actually brought up a good point. Maybe get a hazmat thing to work on. That way I can vent it. I can filter the air, filter the fumes. Okay. I can filter the fumes, use my gloves. It's not super toxic to where it needs. I mean, people play with it with no protective stuff, right? People use it with no protective anything. I did in like 3rd grade, 4th grade. I'm okay, more or less. And I mean, it was the hit on the head, not toxic poisoning that did this to me, right? So I'm thinking it's going to need guidance system, like tell it where to go. And I'm like, how do I control it? What's going to be the up and down? I mean, it's not a helicopter. You can't control it like a helicopter. I can adapt something to it. So, a known system, because when they came up with helicopters, it was totally new. They have to be flown differently. There's up and down, and pitch and yaw are a big deal. Okay, it's a big deal. But making sure it can fly in a straight line, because that's important. So stabilization, guidance system, steering, and I'm not sure whatever comes up, comes up. You can't plan when you don't know what is happening on step that you're on. I'm still on this step, assemble the desktop. The idea is I'm going to go straight up. The core thing is going to be 12 inches, and it's going to be made of stone, sandstone, with a conductor. I will put a conductor on the outside of it, because sandstone itself is a semiconductor with a big magnet in the middle, and that way it'll be set up. The magnetic field will be set up, and that will be implanted into the speeder bike, shuttlecraft, the Z95, all of it. So it's going to be made out of stone. How would I get that done? I will go to someone who makes headstones in a cemetery, and I'll say, "Hey, man, I got a job for you. You want a headstone? Not exactly." And then I will set it up to be. I'll need some basic cuts, right? Some basic shapes, and I'll be able to stack them on top of each other. The fancier, the better. But the guy in Russia, what they did was they spun it so fast it vaporized within. Here's the deal. This is not going to be used as fuel. This is an element. And the fuel is the even field. It won't run out as long as you don't, push it too hard. If you vaporize it, vapors go through things. Okay, vapors expand real hard. Don't want that. Don't want that. It could seriously, it could blow up because of just pressure. I don't want that. Well, that's what they did in India. Sapphire saying, I don't know about stone flying. That's what they did in India. Except I'm not trying to fly a building. I'm trying to fly a four-wheeler. Okay. Talk to Abby M next time I want to say it. Okay. No, I mean, your input is valued. I need someone to shoot out holes in these ideas so I don't shoot myself in the foot when I go to implement these things, and that's fine. And that's what I went over. I made some slides. Okay. Oh, okay. You have he's a Hindi friend. Is he in India? I would like bring him over. If he could come over, bring him over. I'll talk. I want to talk to him. Does he know about this stuff? Right? Does he know about ancient history with the Vimanas and all the tech? Like, quote, Praveen Mohan. Hey, Tommy. Hey, Tommy. Welcome back. It is the one-man quantum panel. I'm waiting for people to click in, and they haven't yet. It is a Friday show. Unexpected. I posted it yesterday. They have me work tomorrow, so I couldn't make it. And because I'm here, I'm not at that Legion hanging out. That was another disappointment, right? The woman I was talking to, yeah, she's not interested. And that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. That's cool, Sapphire. I want to post that. He has a Hindi friend. They talk about me and him, Hindi friend, do cross-referencing from Western reptilian lore and into modern Hindi Naga serpent men. Swap stories and discuss. Yep. There's a lot there. There's so much there. And I love watching Praveen. He's talking about the tech. Some of the scarier statues are actually medical statues over there. He said these two gargoyles, it was an alcoholism treatment facility. And he brought all this stuff, all these little details. And who we got? Raven. Let's
Hi.
See. Is it going to work?
You hear me?
Hello there.
Hello there.
Yes, you got headphones and stuff tonight?
No, I don't have the headphones in.
Okay, well, cross your fingers.
I got them right here, though, in case we need them.
All right, you're using your computer?
I'm using the phone.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
I'm on the phone.
Cross your fingers. Well, you're coming through perfect. Perfectly.
Cool. Okay, good. All right. Yay. Well, I was just having to, this is the best, I would say, behavioral tool for cats.
Mm-hmm. Don't say it, spray it.
Yeah. That's a good one. Love it. Yeah, you'll probably hear the kittens. They're loud. They are so loud. And for something so small to have a set of lungs on them like that is it's just remarkable. I mean, I'm guessing they're 4 weeks old.
Right.
And they're across the hall with the door shut in the bathroom, and you can still hear them. So yeah, the bottle feeding has been an experience. I'll just say it's been an experience, not necessarily a fun one either.
No,
it's rather
very
ungrateful.
Tedious. Yeah,
yes,
they're cats.
Yeah.
Feed me so I don't kill you now.
Right. I'm going to try to get to the chat room, and I'm going to use the laptop for that.
Okay, just make sure your sounds are turned off on the laptop. On mic also.
Okay.
Mute yourself on. You can do that. You can enter twice.
Oh, okay. Okay. We'll try that.
On 2 different devices. That's what I do. That's what I got going on over here.
Okay. Okay. So I liked what you were saying about the bit about the distraction. That it came up in conversation yesterday on a radio program that I was on that was not about aliens or anything. Hey, Vanand, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
You had a heck of a day today.
It's been interesting. Yeah, the ex fell off a ladder. Fell about 4 or 5 feet, about 5 feet flat. Managed not to hit his head, which if he had done that, he'd have been fine. Anyway, all teasing aside, he landed flat on the I believe the right hand side, and he fractured his hip. And you hear fracture, you think, oh my God, it's broke. No, it's fractured. It's a crack. It's just a little one, but that's big enough.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, he's been in the hospital for the last 5 days.
Oh,
he did this early Sunday afternoon. I spent Sunday afternoon all the way to Monday morning in there with him. They sent him down to UMC since they're the big trauma hospital here. You know how I enjoy that. And anyhow, they took very good care of him. They really did. The fracture is in a place where he does not have to have it repaired. It will heal on its own. But
he's
how long got to be laid up?
Probably about 2 or 3 weeks. That's my experience with them. And not him necessarily, but with fractures in general. That's kind of a rough place to have a fracture. But
high stress.
Yeah. Well, again, it's just a teeny crack. And painful? Oh yeah. Bone fractures hurt worse. And he'll be hobbling around here with a walker for a few days. But he's all right. We brought him home by car, and he was fine doing that. Got up a couple of times on the way home. And that's about from the middle of town. What would you say, Nate? About 80 miles. Thereabouts.
Yeah, about 80 miles.
Yeah.
And it's an easy 80 miles. It's a straight shot.
Not right now, it's not. Everything is torn up on I-10 and also on the War Road and out that direction. It's a little bit wonky, but it's not horrible. Of course, Frank drove for years, so driving's not a big deal to him. And It, we made the trip a couple of times. And like I say, that first day, Frank and I were up for about 40 hours.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
It's a long time.
It was almost 2 days, and we got as far as Mesa, got down that street, and it hit us all at once, and we couldn't drive anymore. Couldn't do it. We were almost in a car accident 3 different times, and I don't have to be told twice to get off the road. So,
Right.
anyhow, Joe chose that magic moment to call.
Go figure.
So
The
I'll be right
magic
back.
moment.
I mean, that moment.
I've had enough of this shit. I'm done.
Whoops.
Give it to him there, Raymond. Stick him, baby. Anyway, he called at that particular time, and we were almost to spot on Trans Mountain Road, so we agreed to meet each other there. He said, "I'm coming." He didn't say, "Do you need me?" He said, "I'm coming." And met us there, got in the car, left his car where we were, and took us home. We weren't safe to drive. I was hallucinating, and well, actually, I probably wasn't. That sort of thing leaves me open to everything. I could see it all.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so he brought us home. He probably saved both our lives. I'm sure he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
Joe.
Freak at the wheel.
Joe has a line to both of us, to a bunch of us.
Oh yeah.
He tried to get in my drawer.
I'm sure that was him. I'm sure. Because he had told me about that dream too. I'm like, oh, is Joe messing around in your drawer? That didn't sound right.
No, it didn't. But I didn't realize when he was telling me that, I didn't realize I had a drawer like that with a handle that moves. And I wasn't scared. There was nothing even startling about it. It was like, this is the way, this is acceptable. This is normal. And I did a little video saying I didn't realize it's a junk drawer with a floppy handle. So
yeah, well,
okay,
he brought us home the other 50 miles, and my son John brought him back to his car, but he hadn't have done that, we might have been killed. And I'm not kidding, because neither one of us were thinking straight enough to say, wait a minute, we just need to stop this car and go to sleep.
Right. I've been there. I've driven like that before.
Yeah. Well, I'm not 20 anymore. And the days of eating food and then going ahead and doing another 24 all-nighter, not happening anymore. I can't do it.
No, I got to have sleep.
Yeah. But we weren't leaving him, and you of course why. And not until he was settled with what their plan of care was going to be, and he was safe for us to go home. So, he had a good doctor. She looked at it, she came in, she goes, I don't think that he's going to need surgery at all. I think this will heal with bed rest, with therapy and just taking it easy. So we were very fortunate. I'm sorry, I interrupted everything you all were talking about. I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. Hey, you're on the panel. You're here.
I tell you, when it goes south here, it goes south in a big way.
Yeah. My time kind of went south, but I've decided, and it's an angry thing, and I'm not gonna be angry about it. I need more information. That's what. Play it smart, because I don't want to be angry all night and attract more anger, because that just never helps anything.
Do you
So
mind saying what you're upset with?
someone local, someone here,
Uh,
and I don't want to say too much because it is ongoing, right?
sure.
And well, this is public. It's a little backstabby. It's a little mind gamey.
Is somebody at work?
Home.
Somebody has an occupation that could jeopardize other people accidentally. Just
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Do you need help on that?
No. I
Okay.
got this. It's just
I'm not really offering to do something. What I'm I have a little advice.
Go ahead.
Pray for the person that you're upset with.
Yes.
Pray for them and ask that enlightenment be given to them, and that they begin to understand your side of this, whatever your side might be, and that also pray for your enlightenment so that you understand where they come from as well, and that there can be an amicable outcome to this situation.
Yeah.
Simple as
And you
that.
can put them on ice.
You could, but I think if you try this method first and give them an honest chance with it, and let the goddess do her thing.
Yeah.
And then if you need to do something more, by all means have at, But if you can do that, firstly, it will make you a better person. It will make them a better person. It will give you more enlightenment. It will give them enlightenment. And I did not say maybe. I said it will.
Mm-hmm.
It will.
Right. I know these things.
Then if stuff goes south, and it might, then by all means put them on ice. And I know how to do that too.
Oh yeah, me too.
Nice, gentle, and so effective. I've used it quite often.
Very effective. Very effective.
It to great effect and great advantage. It's not simple. It's not easy. When people will get on your last nerve and then dance, It's just the way things are. Yeah. But if you can keep your head and do something like that, your outcome's gonna be way better. And it isn't easy when somebody is being directly an adversary. It's not easy to do that.
Well, there's no direct adversarial stuff going on. It's more, if it was, it would have been a very different show.
A little sneaky
coming to you from state prisons, coming to you from the lockup, Quantum Show.
Oh Lord, give me patience and perseverance.
Yeah.
Because if I fix it, I'm going to jail.
Somebody's going to jail.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. Yeah. And it's good that I haven't had anybody to talk to about this. like with voice
Sure.
and stuff, and it's helpful. Thank you, Lynn.
Okay. Well, this
And
will work whether it's your problem or the next guy's problem. Okay. It will. I mean, anybody that has a problem with someone else, this helps every single time. I'll guarantee it, particularly if you're in the right mindset for it. So, get in a
That's the
prayerful
key.
mood. Pardon me?
That's the key.
Yes.
Being in the right mindset, being able to stop being angry,
yeah,
get
Oh,
yourself
no.
calm, get yourself centered, and do
You
it
could
from
be
the
mad as
neutral.
hell and still get centered. Say hello, Millard.
Hello, Millard.
Here.
Who's that?
Say hi, Mooney.
Hi. Hi.
hey,
Let's see if we can put you on there.
Hello.
Okay, there he is. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Now, he's my person who should be in bed.
He's heading that
Quit
way
fooling
right now.
around.
He's headed that way right
You want to fix that for me, Frank? No, I think I got it.
Yep.
I think I got it.
you
Awesome.
got it.
Yeah. So, yeah, go to bed. Anyway.
So I'd like to know more about this. So I have always read that you have to get yourself in at least a neutral place before working any magic like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could send fireballs at people if you're mad.
Oh, yeah, you can. You can, but one of the first things you do when you sit down
I
and you
forgive you,
talk,
damn it! Boom.
you
Yeah.
sit down and breathe, lots of breathing, and then you contact your deity, whether that's the goddess, God Almighty, Jesus, whoever it is you pray to, and say, I'm sorry. I am so angry. I'm so mad. This is just bullshit. And yes, I do talk to my deities that way because
I do too.
they know what I'm thinking. It's true, they know. So, I'm angry. Help me get a handle on this anger. Help me see things the way it is, exactly the way it is, and help me get calm, get centered. Now let me talk about this thing. Why I'm so upset with this, why I'm so hurt. Because usually when you're upset with somebody else, it's because your feelings are hurt. Your ego is trampled upon. Once you do that, you calm down and you thank them for helping you calm down.
Yeah.
And then you start to pray for the adversary, the person who is really pissed you off. You say to them, I want them to have every good thing. I want them to be able to enjoy life as much as I do. Once you start talking like that and blessing your adversary, your enemy, and calm down and get more calmed down and say, allow them enlightenment to what has happened here and maybe to stop. Allow me enlightenment and allow me to put down the weapon also, so that I don't have to continue this mess.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Not
Sounds simple.
necessarily.
It's hard to. It's difficult to implement. Let me tell you.
You
I know
why?
how to do it, but when it's in my face and I'm dealing with it, and I've managed to not be angry anymore about it because I tell people all the time, is being angry and mad, is that going to help the situation? No. So take a step back. I'm doing that. I've done that, and now I'm not angry. I'm just frustrated and let down.
Sure. If your feelings are hurt, your ego's hurt in there somewhere. Usually that's
Yeah.
how it is, not always. But anger serves no one. It really doesn't. Believe me, I've got a temper from hell.
Oh, me
Okay,
too.
I do, and it's. I went into martial arts because my temper was hotter than a 3 alarm fire,
Mm.
and it would go off at just about anything. I had to figure out. And one of the things my sensei helped me with was, okay, what are you really pissed off about? Why are you mad? You know, searching that out
Mm-hmm.
first. That's
Yeah.
lots of fun. And
Yeah.
then
Hmm.
facing it for what it really is,
Right.
that's even more.
And I have done so much self-examination over the past couple years that it actually comes a little easier, but I don't want to. But it is doable. I
It does
just
get
don't
easier.
want to.
Oh, I
Yeah.
understand. I
Yeah.
think we feel justified when we're angry, mad,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that how dare things treat us this way?
Mm.
But it's
It's a
part of
better
our
than
learning.
being depressed though.
Yeah,
I have found, and I've allowed myself to go with the anger because really that's just a mask for the depression. And when you're depressed, you have no energy. You're kind of, you
that's
don't get
right.
anything done. You just feel, and sometimes if I let myself go there, I mean, I can stay there for a long time. And I've
Yeah,
wasted so much of my life when I was younger and before I understood all of this kind of stuff, months. I've wasted months, weeks, all in one stretch, um,
Yeah.
didn't go to prom, didn't do, some things that maybe now looking back might have been fun, miles markers, in your life and stuff like that. So I've
sure.
let the anger because it's energizing. You can be motivated and do stuff and function when you're mad.
That's
I
right.
clean house like I can really clean house when I'm pissed.
Oh yeah, it gets real
I
clean,
get
huh?
it done and get all yeah, oh yeah, I pick up all that trash and take it out and I'm, lickety split, I can have this place cleaned up, right? But depression, I'll just let the whole thing go to hell for days on end. And so
Mm.
that's a
Yeah,
tricky one for
it's
me.
it's an up down thing when it's depression's involved. But my mom used to say it's easier for me to be angry than it is for me to be sad.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
there's some truth to that. There really is.
Yeah.
We have women are different than men. Men get mad. They get mad fairly fast. It's a fast burn, and then they get real logical about it,
Yeah.
which is a really good thing.
Yeah.
Women get mad and then they look at themselves and say, "What have I done wrong?"
Or
you
they'll just
know, that happens
kind
quite a
of
bit.
stuff it down and pretend like, and
Yeah.
just go on. And then all of a sudden they're triggered and they blow like a volcano.
Yeah, and it might be over something stupid,
Yeah. It's
you
just
know.
the straw that broke the camel's back. That one little,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we all have those things that make us angry. And if you go back in anger, usually it's because you have because your feelings are hurt, and we've learned as youngsters to come out swinging, and that isn't the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Seeing it
Hmm.
for what it really is, and dealing with it in a direct way. And I stew over things too. I get mad and I'll just shut down
Mm-hmm.
and boil,
Hmm.
just boil. And when that tea kettle blows, oh boy,
Run.
just run
Just
because,
run.
yeah, I don't have all that much energy anymore for this nonsense either. I think that might be some of it. It's a quick burn, and okay, I'm pissed off at you. My son
Yeah.
and I'll have little tiffs back and forth. and he'll just absolutely have a conniption fit, run through walls, and I'll wait. And he'll come in and goes, "I'm sorry, Ma." I said, "I'm sorry too. I love you. I don't want to quarrel with you." And he'll say, "I love you too. So stop pissing me off." That's life. That's humans.
After doing some work on go ahead, Nathan.
Now, something that is, I don't know, it might be specific to my family. When we get mad like we do, we have that temper too, right? We tend to break. Something like, I have a low-key ulcer happening all the time, and my neck, I hit my head, right? My neck has this, if I get stressed, it will crick, and I can't move my head anymore. And when I get angry and stressed like that, I tend to not have the kettle blow. The kettle just breaks. And I have to, and it stops me in my tracks. Or my upper back. A list of stuff, right? Sure. And now I get the skin thing going on, and when I get into a bad mental way, it comes back. But I, use the self-discipline and manifestation and stuff to keep all these things at bay. The healing, the chakra concentration, and a little bit of kundalini here and there when I can manage it.
Sure.
And
that little extra towards the person that has angered you will allow you to get control. It allows you to try to see things from their point of view. Sometimes you can't do it. But it also asks for a blessing for them. When we bless those people that irritate us really badly and say, "Gee, I want you to have the best of everything," we bless ourselves. Bet you didn't know that. We do. We allow the universe to bless us and to shower its help and healing on us, because we cannot pray for someone else and that universe outgive us.
Because what you give out comes back threefold, whether that's a blessing or whether that's a curse.
That's right? That's how karma works.
Yeah. That's why I haven't done anything yet.
Stop being the karmic basketball and become the badminton bat, bat it back.
Have either of you noticed how fast karma is happening nowadays?
Yeah, almost instant.
Almost instant. Yeah. So is that a symptom of this moving into this fourth dimension, fifth dimension thing, or ascension stuff?
Yes.
I was going to say that too. The environment's changing.
Yeah, it is.
We're coming into a time frame that's going to be fraught with peril, but it'll also be an amazing time to be alive. It always is. We look at some of the rough stuff that we have hit us between the eyes, but we forget that everything that comes against us and fails builds us up to be stronger, to be more resilient, to be able to bat that badminton bird back, and be the person that we were meant to be.
That is something I do.
Has that.
Yeah, that's something I try to do as an kind of an affirmation. Like, yeah, there's bad stuff, but there's this good stuff, and I try to focus on the good stuff. But there are just events that get under my skin right at the moment, and it goes away, and I remember the good things, focus on the good things, And yeah, kind of like an affirmation when things happen.
You know, especially when someone comes to me and says, I can't rest. I can't go to sleep. I'm having the worst time of that. And you know what my thing is? You know, when you're laying there, you're awake. That's your universe calling to prayer. That's what it is. They're calling you to prayer. Whatever's on your heart and mind, pray about it. I know it sounds so old-fashioned, but it really does work.
It does.
You
It
know,
really does.
and if you can't even put that much into words, if your life is so pent up and so harsh, you know, then don't say anything about it. Feel, you know, say, I just want to give you gratitude for everything that I do have, not for what I don't, but for what I do. I've got a sign in the bathroom, along with some others, that says, Dear God, I just want to take a moment not to ask you for anything, but to just thank you for everything that I have. You know, God likes to hear about that stuff too, and the goddess, and however you perceive the universe. But when you start praising and thanking God for the things you do have, and for your health, and for the little stuff that nobody thinks much about, that's when the big stuff starts to turn loose and go mad.
I have a gratitude jar. It's a great
Yeah.
big, almost like a glass cookie jar, and it had the word gratitude. I found it at the secondhand store and I bought it. And I keep it on top of the microwave, and on it I have a little plate. It's just a little notepad and a pen. And every morning when I go there to make my coffee, because the coffee pot's right next to it, I write at least 3 things on a little piece of paper that I'm grateful for, and I throw it in that jar.
I love it. That's precisely what I'm talking about. You know,
and it's amazing. I've seen all kinds of little miracles. I'm getting great parking places whenever I go to the store.
Yes.
And just little things.
Yeah, we were in the parking garage at UMC, which is about 1/4 the size it needs to be for that big a hospital. Guess what? The opportunity to get a parking place in there is zilch. It's horrible to get a parking place in there. So we're going up through there, and Joe goes, boy, this is going to be fun. I said, shush, I'm manifesting.
Hold my beer.
And I'm putting out there, God, I need something near the elevators because I can't walk this. You know, I don't want Frank to have to walk it either. Right next to the doors.
Ah, awesome.
There you go. That's manifesting practicality. You know, and if I can do it, anybody can. I promise, anybody can.
I've heard of a parking angel. My aunt used to pray to her parking angel, and and there was my other aunt had a spirit guide that was an Indian, and she would call him Red Feather, and she would send him when we would leave the house. She would send him to where we were going and send him on so he could have some time to make sure that there was good, because she didn't walk well, her legs were bad, and we always had parking places up by the front. It was just every single time without fail. It was great.
You know, and I mean, even with you know, it's foolishness like handy buggies. I gotta use them. I hate handy buggies, but I gotta. And I have people get in my face. I do not look like I'm somebody who needs one. And no, I don't look like that. I don't think it matters what you look like. That's what I
handy
have.
buggy with a motorized scooter.
Am I supposed to be missing a leg and an eye? What is this?
Wear an eye patch next time.
I've had people. Oh God, no! Do you think I see bad now? Anyway, I'm liable to put it on the wrong eye, and now we're in trouble. So anyhow, but I've had
So,
people assault me. Get right in my face and say, "You are too young for that." And I'm like, I said, "So what is a disability supposed to look like? Because I'm a little confused, you know."
well, that was kind of a compliment.
It is, but it's a backhanded one.
It's a backhanded one, yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, they were just,
but
yeah.
I
I
don't
think it
look
was.
like someone who's not well. I walk strong when I walk, and because I
Mhm.
manifest as I go along. I do,
Mm-hmm. And
and
that's what you've got a youthful spirit about you, and you
yeah,
love to laugh, and you're funny, and you've got just a very strong aura. So you don't seem like your typical sickly person that would need a scooter. So I get that.
yeah. But anyway, I just as
But
you
still,
say, you send your guide ahead of you if that's how you can see it. If you can see it
Mhm.
manifested, do it that way. I mean, do it how you see it.
yeah. And
We've manifested since we were little children. We didn't know what we were doing.
Mhm.
You
true.
yank at mom's skirt and say, "Mom, I'm hungry," and your mother looks over at you, says, "What is wrong, baby? You're hungry. What do you need to eat?" "I need my dinner." "Oh, guess what? I got dinner on the stove already." You you may not have manifested that specifically, but that is how you learn how.
Mhm.
You know, when
Mhm.
you manifest um, a parking place, and that's a favorite one for everybody because it's always
I
such
do
a
that.
darn pain in the rear.
I do
But
that.
when you do that, you look at mother and our mother in heaven, okay, or our father, however you see him, and you yank on his sleeve and say, "I need a parking place." You know what I'm saying? That
Hmm.
you see the parking place in your mind. I am having this thing. I'm not going to be hungry. I am hungry now, and you're going to take care of me. See
Mhm.
where I'm coming from on this? Then's when you begin to see the thing in your mind's eye, where it is, what it looks like, how you're going to pull into that, and how joyful you're going to be when you got it. How simple is that? All
Mhm.
manifesting works the same way. All of it. The same
Hmm.
thing when you're manifesting a resolution to a problem or to a difficult situation. See it in your mind's eye how you'd like for it to get resolved, how not necessarily how you require it, but how it might happen. Okay?
Yes.
Hmm.
Don't have a beginning idea that someone else is right or someone else is wrong. How you'd like to see it resolved. How good you will feel when it does resolve. And act as though it already is. There it is.
Hmm.
So,
I have a question about something.
yes.
I was listening to a lecture the other day, and about this layer, this matrix that's been placed around planet Earth. That's, I guess, was put there by the Anunnaki. Uh, that's really neither here nor there. But apparently, it is a net. She called it a network in place, and it's about
Like a web.
somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 miles above ground level.
Mm.
That kind of just keeps this bubble, and in this holographic, she said, holographic network are placed in there the need to worship something, uh, separation, feeling separated from source and separated from each other, conflict, comparison, all the negative emotions that cause all the ills that we see in society today, basically jealousy, lack, all that kind of stuff is in this holographic like network that's just all around. That's why our planet, I guess, is so negative.
Okay.
Why we're so crazy. And so she offers a guided meditation that if you practice this, some people can do it in less. Somewhere, it takes 21 days to create a new habit or a new pattern of behavior with
Right.
the neurons that link up in your brain and all that stuff. Okay.
21 to create the habit, another 10 to instill it.
Yeah, that's it. And this, I tried this meditation today. So what the meditation is, you don't have to listen to her meditation. You could just do this in your own way. But is to get a pinpoint of light and send that up with the intention of then connecting to source. You can picture the center of the universe or God or whatever. You know what? My phone is about to die. Oh my God, my power. I got to get my power cord in. It's just going to notice across the top of my screen. Anyway, quickly to wrap that up, this pinpoint of light connected to source, whatever that is. And then if you do that for that length of time, it will permanently create a separation through that muck that's 5,000 to 7,000 feet, and you can have a more direct experience and not be as affected by all the negativity that's in this holographic matrix around us. Have you ever heard of something like this? Okay, I got to find my board here.
Yeah.
My phone's about to die.
Yes.
Hold on.
Plug it in.
Plug it up.
Plug it in. Relax. Calm down.
I think I left it in
It's going to be fine.
Okay.
All right.
I left it in the other room. All right.
Your
Hold on here.
question, I'm not sure about your question. Can you rephrase it? I think she went out.
Hold on.
Okay. No, we're good. We're good. It's cool. We'll wait. Yes, I have heard of this. Do I believe it? I don't know. I have a different way of connection than most people do, I think. Firstly, I don't believe there's anything that can come between me and source. I don't believe that, won't have it, don't see it, and absolutely refuse to be disconnected from source. So I'm just not, and maybe that's part of that meditation allows the person to say, I am not disconnected from source at all. I have meditated daily personally for the last 50 years. I would say so. I don't allow anything to get between me and my daily meditation, my daily prayers. Meditation and prayers are very similar. If there's some sort of muck between me and source, it has not affected me. I refuse to be separated from God. That's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So this, I can see where human beings in their own right, there are times when we feel like God's not listening, God doesn't hear us, that we're hurt and we're sad, we're lonely, we are disconnected. And the first thing that anybody should do when that's going on is to stop. Get into some place nice and quiet and sit and listen. God wants to talk. God wants to talk to you so bad he can taste it. And he does. Now, it may take a little bit more time for you to to open up your centers and allow that voice to come to you. But it does. It, especially if it's been some time, is not at all impossible, though, to reach out and say, God, I need you. I want you. And whether it's God or Goddess, I want you. I'm finding it difficult to navigate. I can't navigate. I can't keep on feeling like this. I'm just beside myself. I've had those times, that the minute I reconnect and I say, I need you. I need your presence. I need to be touched by you and to feel that absolute worthiness, that absolute love, because every person on the face of the planet, no matter how freaking awesome or awful you have been, God does not turn from you. He just doesn't. Now in some religions there has to be a certain mediation point. Christianity is very, very involved in the Christ consciousness. But Christ consciousness is perfectly fine for anybody else too.
Yeah.
And ask for that divine connection to hold you and fold you, and to become for you to become aware of its warmth and its power and its love. When you do that, it's there. It's just there. And yeah, I've had my moments when I have just thought I had screwed up to a place where I could never, ever get back. You know what? I'm back anyway. Here I am anyhow, because I keep that divine connection open at all times. Especially after the last time, I realized, hey, this feeling, this empowerment can continue if I will continue it. Whether that's waking up 5 minutes early, 5 minutes, that's not a lot of time for us. 5 minutes and say, hey, God, I just want to say hi. I want to say hi, I'm here. I would like for you to walk with me and be with me during my day. And thanks for everything. This is great. Life is wonderful. Even when life is being a real bastard, life is good. Thank you for it. And help me if I'm in the middle of crap, help me find my way through. Help me get in contact with those who will help me find my way through. Or just show me the clearest part. Show me today's walk, and then walk it. I know it sounds kind of goofy, but it literally does work this way. And that's whether you're pagan, Buddhist, Taoist, Christian, Catholic, whatever works. You look like an elf when you do that. When you turn away, you look like an elf. It's so cute.
An elf?
An elf. You look cute.
I can see it.
Yeah, you see it? Look.
Yeah, right there.
Seriously, look at that. While we're
These cats
talking,
are just off their hook tonight. They are just jumping on me and screaming and slamming the door, and they're squealing in there, and then this little one just won't leave me the hell alone, please. Oh my God, they're just bonkers
your energy
tonight.
up tonight?
Yeah.
Your energy is wild, isn't it? Right up there on top, you're just jazzed, huh? So are your cats. They're going to be. When I walked in tonight with Millard, oh, my dogs were going, ah, ha, 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 ho, 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 the old man's home, yay. You know?
Oh, I bet they were worried because they can sense things.
Oh,
They,
man. I had to sit them both down and say, now, look, guys, here's what happened. He fell. You saw that. He's not dead. I'm going to bring him home this week. He's going to be fine. As soon as I said all that, oh, okay. One did their thing. They just wanted to know what's going on. Now you got to remember, my animals are sentient.
yeah,
So
most of mine are too. Most of them
they're not animals. They're familiars.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
A lot of mine are too.
No animal that comes in this house leaves anything but a familiar. You know.
Yeah, kind of the same way here. Most of them. There's a few that are not touchable that don't want to be, so I leave them be. But this brings up a question I wanted to ask you about about animals.
Mm-hmm.
Do they stay in their own soul groups, or do they then graduate at some point to then become human if they want to? Because
What
I've
an
heard stories
interesting
both
idea.
ways.
What an interesting. Yeah.
So there's a story that stands out in my mind, and it kind of gives me some comfort here with what I'm doing with rescuing these guys. It's from David Wilcock, and he was talking about the family cat, and he was very close to this cat. And after the cat died, he had a dream, and in the dream, the cat came to him, but the cat looked very much like Bast. It had a cat head, but it was on a human body. And the cat came to him and thanked him for all of the love and attention that he had showed her, because that allowed her to become more sentient. And now she was ready for graduation, and she could now do a human soul. And she came to thank him. And that story has just been seared into my memory. I thought it was just very touching. And so I wondered if that was true, if that's your understanding of.
Let me back up here a little bit. I was probably about 5. Of course, lost an animal. Okay, and this was a very, very much loved animal. It's a cat, and she had a close encounter with a harvester. And yeah, it was a bad way to die. It was. And she didn't go right away. I had to let her go. I was 5 years old. And my parents were of the opinion that animals did not have souls. Gee, I watched hers rise up and leave. I saw it. And I said, no, Mama. I said, she got up and went to God. She said, well, if that makes you feel better, that's fine. You know? No, I saw it. It was okay. I was very, very happy. I was sad for her to lose her in that way, but I was glad that she returned to source. You know, we're not all that far from that as human beings. We're flesh and blood. I think that some of us have a little bit more, some have a little bit less. You know, and I think some of that is in the passage of life, how we have lived, what we take with us. And we all know that when we leave, all we leave with is who we were, what we accomplished in our lives, how we were to other people. You know, that's what we take back to source. If you didn't understand it before, maybe you will now, that we are almost like little memory chips, that all of our feelings and our thoughts and our moods and the whole thing go back to the source and say, here's what I did, here's my present, isn't this wonderful? You know, or some of us will have to go back to say, gee, I screwed up. Can you give me another shot at this? You know,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and it works like that, you know. And some of us have not had the the failure is not what you think it is. It was an opportunity to fail and learn something from that so that the next shot at it is going to make it through and make it work. She's upside down, and that is odd. I think we lost her.
Mm,
She'll come back.
yeah,
She will.
she'll come back.
The 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 thing of it is with these experiences, we might be devastated that we didn't get something to work, or that we didn't take full advantage of our lives. You know, that does happen. But you can rest assured the universe was with us through the whole thing, knows it for what it was. You know, sometimes we didn't do the best we could have, sometimes we do. You know, does the good stuff outweigh the bad stuff? You know, well, of
Hmm.
course, time will tell that story. But when we get going on it and we start to realize that our memories and our accomplishments, the universe is right there looking right through our eyes at the same thing. When you tap into the universe and allow the universe to instruct and to guide, big things happen then. You
I've
know,
noticed
and it
that. I've seen when I let
is.
go and I take a step back and breathe and say, what's going to happen now? And I white light it. That's the way. This is my way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I white light the whole situation, and things happen the way they're supposed to happen.
yes.
And I try to get in good, you know, so it kind of goes my way. I mean, in a lot of ways, I was just, knee jerk reacting, and I'm over it
Everyone
now.
does.
I'm
Everyone
getting
does.
over it now. I mean, I've been looking around, and of all the things that could go wrong, they're not, and I'm so glad, you
Yeah,
know. And of all the things that are there, it's just a knee jerk reaction for me to go, oh God, everything sucks because of this one little tiny thing. I'm beyond that right the moment. I'm good. I'm just like,
yeah. And we get these wonderful, and we're enlightened. We see how it works. Is that little peek behind the curtain, and it's a bigger peek than we thought. But then we can turn around and do the thing that we have been wanting to do that was blocked for whatever reason, you know. And
mm-hmm,
whether it's uh, okay, I have spent much of my life nursing. No, I
mm-hmm,
don't have any credentials. I don't have the all of the school that was necessary for that. I regret that very much. That I let negativity stop me. And I did. I let it stop me.
mm-hmm,
But what did I learn from that? How did I work from that? I said, the hell with it. I'm going to nurse anyway, and I have. Very much on a one-on-one basis. I have a very much of an ability to do it. I've
mm-hmm.
spent almost all of my life nursing, in spite of not having all the stuff that they say you gotta have. Now, have I given shots? Have I done IVs and la 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 yak yak? Of course not. I nursed where nursing was most important, and that was to take care of the individual involved in whatever the situation was and bring them back to a semblance of health or back to health. I'm going to do the same thing with Millard. I'd give you dollars to donuts. He will be off that walker in 2 weeks or less. I promise he will.
Mm-hmm. I believe it. I know it. I will be watching for that.
Some of that's going to be, hey, it's love.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's going to be a little beefed up nutrition.
Right. I was going to say
understand very
extra
well.
vitamins.
Yeah. Some of that's going to be bone knit. Oh, yeah, the kitchen's going to be hopping. You know, because what did Hippocrates and Socrates both said? Let food be your medicine. And it works.
Yeah, I use food as medicine all the time.
Sure.
I
Supposed to.
Yeah, I put like whenever I have I put garlic and I'm drawing a blank. It's been a long day, right?
Onion.
Ginger. I use a lot of ginger.
Warming. Sure. Turmeric.
And turmeric. Every cup of coffee. Every cup of coffee got turmeric in it.
That's from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
So on the outside, you work with stuff like Tiger Balm and some things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've got.
But in that hands-on touching, when you put that on to somebody else's back or their arm or their hip, like in this case, it'll be done with the hip.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be loving touch, and here and that energy, and that's Reiki, of course. That energy goes in. The big thing that you got to remember, a lot of health professionals forget, is you got to protect yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, protect yourself. What does that mean? It means shield your aura, shield your heart and your soul, so that if there is negativity hiding out there, it doesn't reach out and bite you, because it can do that.
Yeah.
So
I haven't had that happen to me that I'm aware of, but I can see how it would happen.
Yeah. Well, and if you're solo, you're you're on your own. There's nothing says that you cannot love the. Well, okay, you've sprained an ankle. You comfort your ankle until it's going to be better. Every time you self-affirm in those ways, that allows your body to know that yes, you know what's happened. Yes, you're in control. And yeah, it's all going to be fine. We're just going to have to work through this somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And that self affirmation is part of the healing process. When I brought Millard home tonight, we were talking about how we were going to change to beef up his diet. Bone broth, big one for healing fracture.
Oh, heck yeah, bone broth. And it's so good.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
It's so good.
Yeah, and I make my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I can throw in there ginger, turmeric, garlic, onions. All of those things not only have healing properties, but they have magical ones as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to hopping up that old cauldron and saying, "Oh boy, we're gonna have a good time tonight," that is again, affirmation that yes, this is going to be healed. Mm-hmm. Now you have a fracture in a relationship. Okay, when you have a fracture in a relationship, again, you affirm that wholeness is going to occur, in its rightful way, however that is, however you perceive it, okay, and start building that soup. Soup's a wonderful way of doing that, you know, but
Hmm.
build the soup, and if you can share it with that other individual, that helps to heal that relationship.
Hmm. That sounds like a potion, is what it sounds like.
Um, Not a potion to interfere with someone else's will,
Oh
but if
no, not
they
that.
feel,
Not that at all. It sounds like what you're describing is straight up that's a potion. That is a potion. And I've described potions like that too.
it does work that way though. If you're looking to heal that relationship, and most of the time we don't look to fracture a relationship. That's
No.
bad. That's bad juju. We don't
Yeah,
do
we
that.
want to get along. We want people to
Yeah.
be in a good way. I do.
If I'm in an office situation, and I have been many times, I've been supervisory over nurses, over people who caregive, and I find hear about somebody having some bad stuff happen, where they're at odds with each other. I've gone to that house with soup and said, I got this soup I wanted to share with you. Sat down with the two people that were arguing and broke crackers and soup.
Hmm.
And by the time we were finished, we were all laughing, all happy with one another, and the problem was solved. Just that little bit of love and saying, hey, let's work this out instead of making it into a war.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
said it. You said it a little while ago. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to quarrel with you. I love you, and I'm sorry
Mhm.
too. And you said it a little while ago, and it's how we want to deal with stuff.
Well,
I'm
even
working
in
on
a
it.
business situation, of course, when you're working in caregiving, in particular, part of caregiving is so many times the elderly right now don't have anyone to care for them, or they may only have one family member who's caring
Hmm.
for them, and it's draining them hard. We have some of that here, you
Hmm.
know. But when, that I supervise people that were in those predicaments and sat down with them and in the midst of a burnout, and that's often what it is. I'm just so tired of it all. I just want to stop, you know,
Hmm.
and sit down with them and just share a little love, just a little love, and let them realize that, yes, I do care. Yes, I'm in the middle of this with you. You're not by yourself. I'm working to solve it. And both the caregiver and the person being cared for, when they realize that, no, you're not on your own. We're working with you. We want to help. Made it so much easier for them.
Yeah.
So, it works the same way in the home. You've got you you start out with yourself, and then maybe you add a partner, whatever sex that person is, whether it's two fellas who happy would be with one another, two girls, or a man and woman. Maybe
That's a
they're
human
making up
thing.
the human thing. But when you have a difficulty, that's stopping and saying, I don't want to argue. I don't want to be unhappy with you. I love you. You're wonderful in all these many ways. What can we do to work this thing out together? You know, the simple matter of just being so damn tired I can't stand it anymore. You know, that happens too.
Hmm.
But the love component to all of it is extremely important because nothing is going to happen well without love.
Yeah.
You know,
And anger doesn't help it either.
no.
Because in this situation here, anger is it's inflammatory on all sides. And that's why I took a step back and I was like, no, I'm not going to deal with this right now because I know what I'm going to do. If I do anything, it'll be bad. So I just took a step back and I need more information and going to talk about it some.
And that's okay. I would also say that our emotions, whether it's extreme happiness or extreme anger, extreme tiredness, um, all of those things are tools. They're not the end all. They are tools. Anger tells us when something is bad wrong.
Yeah.
And you can use that thing to diagnose the problem. Think of it as a computer overheating. And think of, oh, the computer's pissed, right? So
Yeah.
what can we
Indicator.
do? What can we do to fix this? Well, you get the cover off the thing, you clean the fan, give it a good sweep out. You give it a little bit of what? Tender, loving care. It's the same thing as when in our relationships, all of them. You got a mad toddler. He's not mad at you. He's mad at all of it because he's got stuff he wants to do and he's not getting there and he's pissed off because he's not.
Hmm.
Just sit down with him, show him a little bit of how to go about what he's doing, let him discover as much as he can, and make sure that he's not hungry, wet, or needs a nap.
Right.
If everything was so simple, huh?
Ah, okay.
So, what
Yeah.
do you
It.
think?
Hmm?
What do you think about Ed Raven's question about the Matrix? I find it fascinating, but I haven't really figured out if I agree with that or not. You know,
I've got a lot of questions from Raven. I don't remember a Matrix question. What was it?
well, she was referring. You had stepped away for a moment. She had asked me. She said that somewhere around 75,000 feet off of the
Hmm.
planet's surface, it was her impression that there had been some sort of energy field that prevents us from spiritually getting beyond it. Well, I might like to think so, but I don't think human beings can be contained so easily.
I don't think so either. There may be a barrier, but it would be something just to keep us from stepping on it ourselves, so we
Yeah,
don't screw up. Like if you can do this, then you can go past.
yeah,
I was away from the keyboard, so I didn't hear that
right.
question. But there may be something like uh, a filter where we can't go past it unless we meet criteria. But
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I have been way out there before. It's hard to describe or remember any of it. I've been way out there before, and I'm pretty sure it was beyond 75,000 feet off the surface.
hmm
Um,
yeah. I'm
and
I'm not real familiar with that particular thesis, but I I don't believe there's anything can prevent us if we have a notion to do something.
Mm.
Truly.
No, I don't. I don't think so either. If we're going, we're going. We're gonna
Yeah.
do. We're gonna do it. If we're motivated to do it, we're gonna do it. And like say astral projecting, just for an example, right? If we go, we're not stopping. You know, we're not going to want to stop because once we figure out, oh, I can do this, we go all the way.
Well,
And
human beings human beings have a remarkable talent for not just being able to conceptualize in our own mind, but spiritually also.
mhm,
And that's where a lot of these great big ideas come from, such as, oh, let's go to the moon. Everybody pulled together on that to get to the moon first, and we did manage it. And we
mhm,
haven't kept it, but we have managed to get there first. Somehow or another, that meant we were finished. Well, I got news for you guys. We're not done, and
no,
we
no.
have people like Jeff Bezos. Uh, oh gosh,
Jeff Bezos, Elon
oh,
Musk,
the
and
other fella, the one that out here at Virgin Galactic,
yeah,
Sir
Bruce something,
Brennan, Brennan, Brandon.
Bruce
Oh,
something. I mean, I'll Google it real
I
quick.
can't think of it. I'm sorry. I'm tired too. The uh you know, these people have terrific amount of disposable wealth, and not just tied up wealth that we knew about as children, but true disposable wealth. And
Hmm.
they're dropping it on space exploration and uh, that industry. There's not Richard Branson. There we go. Um, Sir Richard Branson, by the way.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
their resources are terrific. They exceed some some countries' wealth, and I'm thinking probably our own country as well. So when somebody like this says, "Well, we're going to go to the moon," you can bet on it. Have they had
Hmm.
failure? Of course. So what? We had failure. Throw another $1,000,000 at it or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Oh, what you call it? China has been to the moon a couple times now. No one's
yes,
talked about that. India went to the moon. India is on the moon, and they had it was what was that thing?
I would not doubt for 2 seconds that Russia's there as well.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it either.
The
I'm
United
just
States
we
has
just don't hear
acted
about
like
it.
it. The United States has acted like ESO. Well, I'm sorry, but there's resources up there that you can't imagine.
Hmm.
We
I
claim a very small part of that.
Yeah, I am a fan of the 20 and back idea that we not only went to the moon, that's when we began our exploration. We've been on the moon, and I'm with R. Keith. The moon is occupied. The moon has
Oh yeah,
people living up there already, and we were visiting, and they were like, "Whoa, what?" That's why they cut out so
I
much of the stuff.
the business of going to Mars, that's been in the works for at least as long as I've been alive. At
You
least that
know,
long.
if I can do these little projects around here, talking about,
Hmm.
and it's me off in the woods doing this stuff, they've
Right.
been doing it.
Yeah.
I've come up with I've come to the conclusion, not even an idea anymore, a conclusion. If I've thought about it, 100,000 people have thought about it, and somebody had a chance to do it. and they've done it. They just don't tell people about it.
Well, you know, the every these ideas come in waves. I've seen it happen over and over again, where somebody comes up
Mhm.
with this new innovation, right? And it wasn't. There's a half a dozen people that have the same idea at the same time. That is the universe's way of making sure that it happens. That's
Mhm.
what I think. And
I
yeah, go ahead.
I heard it put a different way a long time ago. Sylvia Brown, right? For
Yeah,
better or worse, okay? Sylvia Brown put it in a different way, but she put that same idea that you're saying right now, that the universe puts it out there and
yeah.
somebody's going to do it.
Well, the person who has the most moxie quite often, or has enough money, or enough motivation, whatever it takes, but that one person, or maybe two or three, because when the telephone was invented, Alexander Graham Bell was not the only person working with that.
Mm-mm.
We don't hear a lot about that when we're studying history, but it's true. The same thing with telegraph or electric lights. Tesla and Edison both were working with that.
Yep.
Tesla was working on a wireless energy uh, situation early on.
Yep.
Marconi wasn't the only one to put out the wire, put out, yeah, lines,
Wireless.
no, lines,
Oh,
lines.
okay. Well,
Marconi put
Marconi
out,
was a radio guy.
right, but we did so much with wires too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we still do with antenna. Um, yeah, Marconi was radio, but he wasn't the only one working with it. He just happened to get to the patent office first. So it comes in waves. So you get one person saying, well, we might be able to do this. Recording. Edison started putting stuff on discs, putting voice on disc.
Mm-hmm.
Vinyl records came after those very
Wax
fragile.
cylinders. Yeah, the
Well,
wax
there was
cylinders,
wax
which,
cylinder, yeah,
and then there was
records.
yeah, I know what you're talking about, the
Yes,
phonograph records.
I mean we look at that now and think, oh, that's really antiquated. Do you realize that only 150 years old? That's
Mm-hmm.
all. That's
We are
nothing.
we are a fraction of an eye blink
Yes.
from where we were to where we are now, and it's only 100. That's 2 lifetimes, optimally speaking, right? Optimally, 5
Five.
lifetimes,
Five
150 years.
generation. Five
Yeah,
generations
5
in 100
generations.
years. So what is that? 7.5 generations. About that.
Okay.
So, and it's more or less. When we say a
Yeah, that's
generation, we're talking about children, parents, grandparents, great
mhm.
grandparents,
Give
and
or
great
take
great.
give or take every 20 to 25 years.
Well,
I would
all
say.
right.
I don't know.
All right. I'm in my 60s. Okay. Now, think about this real careful. My great great grand uncle was a advisor to Kaiser Wilhelm. He was
Mm,
a statistician. His name was William Grabler. How many generations? 7. Now, go back. Kaiser Wilhelm was at the helm of World War I. along with his cousin, George, uh, George V, I think, and Tsar Nicholas. They were cousins. They
Hmm.
all had one grandmother, and that was Queen Victoria.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it seems so long ago, but it really wasn't.
And do you know what was said about that? Had Queen Victoria been alive, she would have never allowed these three monarchs to have gone to war like that.
Hmm.
How about them apples? So when, and these were all people. We look at them as some sort of demigod. They weren't. They were people. So when you see it in context like that, my great great granduncle was in the middle of World War One. I'm 20 years into the next century. Literally 100 years later. I have grandchildren too. So when you look at things like that, we're not so far along as you might think.
Oh, I
Not at
know.
all.
I know. And in this time, well, gets me thinking about ancient civilization. When we say we're not that far along, we are not. We're just starting. And but it seems like it's been a long time for the people looking. We're in it, taking the long way around.
Yep.
And but it makes me think of the ancient civilizations because this stuff I did not get this from modern anything. This is four
No, I know
thousand
you
years
didn't.
ago.
Yeah. Indian, I think, maybe.
India, yeah,
Yeah.
Vamana's India. It's 4,000 years ago, and I'm not even trying to reinvent the mousetrap they figured out. I'm going by what they did through the best I can through their eyes, not through modern engineering because it doesn't work. Doing it through their eyes, best I can,
Well,
and um,
much of modern engineering and what we do in the modern time, we call it modern. We're so far in the Stone Age in comparison to Atlantis and funny. And much of those things are deliberately squelched, deliberately put
mhm.
down, hidden, stolen,
Yep.
and kept from us. Now, why you think that might be? Because I don't know. I promise I don't know.
I have a feeling it's to limit us because they want to keep us in line. Be good sheep. Don't give them too much ability. That's just
Too
me, right?
late. Too late.
No, I know. That's why I'll be showing up. I thought, who am I going to go visit once I build whatever I'm building, right? Who am I going to
Right.
go visit? And I had all these ideas. I'm going to go fly over Elon. I'm going to go see Bigelow. I'm going to go see all these people, these big wigs. And I'm like, you know
Thumb your
what?
nose at Bill Gates.
Yeah, I'm definitely flying over Bill Gates. But,
Uh-huh. Oh,
but
yeah.
these other guys, I think I'm going to go to the YouTube people. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there in a few minutes. Get your camera ready. And I'm not going to give it to the big guys because the big guys are the ones, they know it exists. They know this stuff exists. They know it can be done. They're intentionally not doing it because it won't. It is really easy to get mercury from dirt. And this is literally something I said. Our science is based until recently on the study of rocks and dirt. Everything that we've been doing has been rocks and dirt. Even this is rocks and dirt. This comes from cinnabar. And they figured out in, like, I don't know, the 8th century how to do some basic stuff with rocks. right? You take cinnabar, you heat it up, you catch the fumes, you condense them like a still. And what's it called? Apothecary things. It's been a long time, right?
I haven't studied that particularly, but
Well,
I would say this about all of it. We live in a time of contrived lack.
hmm
Not real lack, contrived lack.
right. And we're
And
taught,
that's so wrong.
yeah, we're taught. And someone sent me, I think it was Diane. I think Diane sent it to me. Diane sent
Speaking of
me a thing.
Diane, thanks about that. Yeah, I love my Bubba Cup. It keeps me from drowning myself, basically.
I think it was, I'm going to look. Somebody sent me this thing, and it was about 4 levels of awareness, 4 levels of being a human. And I think it was Diane, but I want to give credit where credit is due. And it starts with the sheep, and then oh wait, no,
For the follower.
right. I think it was Dorothy.
Yeah,
She was here.
I could see Dorothy sending that. Yeah,
Okay,
that makes sense.
it's a video, and I can't play it because no permissions anywhere. But
Right.
um,
No way to
it
get them
talks
either,
about.
I bet.
I may be able to play it, but it. I try to play a video on here, and I'm on 2 wireless connections. It just don't work. It's
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
just jump around. Well,
positive personality disintegration, and I will leave a link
yeah.
after the show.
From the time you were born. When you're born, you know how the world works. You want to know the intricacies of it, the details. But there's you come in with a certain idea of,
hmm
and I know it sounds strange, but I was born sentient too, and I have memories of being 2 months old, turning myself over and being absolutely dumbfounded by it. You know, I
Can't
mean,
say I have that.
scared me, scared the hell out of me. I must have yelled so loud that my mom heard it in her bedroom and came running to see what the heck went wrong. And she came in and I had turned over and was just madder than six kinds of heck about it. And she says, "Oh, you learned to turn over, did you?" And I'm like, "Yep, this is how it works." So, like, after that, if Katie barred the door, it was on. But it's not just discovering the humanity when you're that age, but it's
hmm
discovering abilities, what you shouldn't or can't do. I mean, as in crawl up on the couch and take a dive head first off is probably not the best idea. So, but you have no clue about your limitations at that age. None. Because
hmm
you come from a place where there are no limitations. I'm sure that is why we have that situation. Just getting used to being a human.
Yeah, we're thrust into this meat sack. I don't know what to say, meat mech. And we have to
So,
like accept limitations
yeah.
because we're told to accept them.
Well, not
I'm
just
starting
told to, but you learn to. I mean, you don't break the law of
now,
gravity. You break yourself against it, you know, right?
right?
I mean, Millard figured that one out. So,
I did too.
oh yeah, I have too, and plenty of times. Now, I just for a quick, I want to thank everybody in the chat room for listening, this meandering, and for maybe getting something from it. I want to say hey to Sapphire Elf, to Derek, Diane, don't really see anybody else offhand
Right at
that's
the moment, there
communicating.
isn't in chat.
No,
We got
not
that's
much. That's all right.
Derek,
That's
Diane,
fine.
and Elf. Yeah.
Yeah, the ones who need it are here. The ones who get something from it are here. It's all
Mhm.
good. It's all quantum. And it
Yeah.
truly is quantum.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of people here before,
Yeah.
and
They're
they just
probably
they
still
come and
here
go,
listening. Yeah, they're just
lurking.
listening. It's fine.
Dorothy was here earlier, and I put a link in the chat if anybody wants to see that positive personality disintegration. It sounds like a strange play on words, but it's good. It's really good. On one side of the scale,
Sure.
you got the complete followers, and on the
Yeah.
other side of the scale, you got now this is from a Muggle perspective. You got
Right.
complete follower and you got visionary. And the people who are on this side, the followers, they're all must fit in, must do what I'm told, must not get in trouble, must stay color within the
Yeah.
lines, stick to the box. The people over here, and they're usually generally very happy. These
Oh,
people
yeah.
who are like that, they're very satisfied, content because they don't know anything outside the box, outside coloring in the lines. The people over here, there's
They found
stages.
their comfort zone.
Yeah, these guys.
Right.
Over here are people. I don't know. I like to think I'm there, but I'm not going to give myself over credit yet
Okay,
until
well,
I.
that's fine. I'll give it to you. You really
Thank
have
you.
to. You really want it that way. I'll say, yeah, you do. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. An average individual will look at YouTube and be very happy doing it. They'll get a few ideas, they'll work them, they'll make them work, or they'll say, "Gee, I wish I could do that. I could never do that. It'll never
Mm,
happen for me." Or they can say, "I can do that too. Damn right I can." And suddenly that box isn't there anymore. You know,
yeah.
they've stepped
The
out of it. They've blown the hell out of it's what's happened. But they
yeah.
step out of that comfort zone and begin to find out who they really are. And when they do, move out of the way because all bets are off.
hmm And the other part of that, like these guys are very happy because they don't really know what's going on. They're happy, blissfully ignorant. These guys over here, according to this video, these guys over here are more likely to be depressed and sad because they feel powerless, that they can see what the problem is. They can try to talk about it, but no one wants to listen to them. And they call it in
Yeah.
the video, it's called a tragic gift.
Yeah, it
Um,
can be. It can be.
mhm.
I agree.
Well, I
Or you can
can't,
be the individual that is like that, though, that is the visionary, knows there's something more, and is depressed over it,
hmm,
can do what they can, be happy that they did it, and keep moving forward because that's the only way. Because once
hmm,
you've broken out of the box, there is no going back to the box. You cannot get
yeah,
back in it.
the box, it's like you can never go home again. I cannot justify going back to my old ways now that I've been out here
Yeah.
where I've been and what I've been doing. I cannot justify it because I feel like I would be cutting myself off at the knees.
Well, you would be.
Yeah. And I'm not going to do that. And I, I refuse the fear that comes along with the unknown. I refuse it. Now I embrace the unknown. I'm like, you gonna eat me? I think you already would have eaten me if you were gonna eat me. So let's do this. Let's do
Let's
something
dance.
else.
Let's dance and do it the right way. Let's dance. I know it sounds kind of strange, but um, I've had that, where I've looked at it all and said, "Geez, there's no way I can get uh to Plan B." And said that to myself and said, "Oh, do I really believe that?" Well, the answer to that is hell no. I've gotten there before.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at all of those things. You can be depressed. There's many times I'm just beside myself with, I'm gonna knock everybody's head together if they don't get this settled, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go back and you look at everything you've tried before. That doesn't work. Now, what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Exactly. So how can I do this thing differently so that I have a different result? Now, it may not be the result I want, but I'm moving forward towards what I want. And that's what's important right there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's in the mundane world, and we'll put it that way. We have certain things we have to do. We have
Yeah.
to have whatever niche we call home. We pay
Mm-hmm.
bills. We pay our rent, our electric, what have you. We do those things, and they're important because without them, we're homeless. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
We've seen that, been there. Many of us have been there. I have been homeless once upon a time. There was nowhere for me, and managed to get out of it. There you are.
Yeah.
It took a great deal because once you're in that circumstance, it's very hard to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not like, oh, we'll pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and figure this out. No, it doesn't work that way. You
I
still need
wish.
references. You still need a credit report. You need all of those things. And longer you're homeless, the further in deep you are. So getting
Yeah.
out of homelessness is imperative to not stay there for any length of time, whether that's couch surfing or whatever you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, looking at those circumstances, you know, 10 people out of 100 are homeless in the United States right now, and they're treated like it's their fault. It's
Yeah.
not their fault. All you
Mm-mm.
got to do is look at your paper to see the reason why. We won't say politics or any of that, just the general things that are going on right now. Whether it's homelessness in Maui, God
Mm-hmm.
help them, yeah, or on the streets of New York, doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
know, it's all a very, very dire situation. We think of that as not being our problem, but oh boy, is it our problem. It's our problem in a big way. You
Mm-hmm.
know, whether those same people are coming up and down your street looking for something to snag to go pawn. The longer homelessness goes on, the more opportunities there are for people to get into drug addiction and alcoholism because that's how bad this feels. You've got to
Yeah.
do something about that, or you'll just absolutely walk in front of traffic. Well, wait a minute. How many suicides are happening or untoward accidents on
Mm-hmm.
on rails? People know the trains are on rails. They're not stupid. So our not just our homelessness is up, but our suicide rates are going up because of much of this. I can't make this work. What am I going to do? You know,
Yeah.
uh, Many people who are very used to taking care of their own lives, their own business, are suddenly finding themselves without work and then as a result of that revolution,
Mhm.
then without a car, then without a home, then without.
Yeah. How many of us are one check away from
Yeah.
destitute, you know? And we think, oh, well, we got this and I'm in good. And well, it doesn't take much to
No,
knock
it
you out of
doesn't.
that good spot.
It really does,
Doesn't take much
especially
at
right
all.
now.
Yeah.
And the average individual has no savings right now. Now that should frighten the heck out of everyone. No savings.
Yeah.
You know, have something in your pocket put away. Whether it's a $50 bill, a $50 bill can make the difference. Putting
Mhm.
gas in your car to go for an interview, you know,
Yep.
or keeping your internet on so that you can do an online interview.
You can communicate. Yeah,
Yeah.
communication is like so important.
No, I've had gone to town meetings, was involved with the homeless for a very long time. We tried very hard to address the homeless situation in El Paso, and were shut down cold, not just by politicians in town, but by the people.
Mhm.
Oh, you can't do that in my neighborhood. My neighborhood's pristine to have people like them.
Mhm.
You know, the terrible bias and prejudice against people that did nothing to get in this situation in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, granted, some have, and some have messed up badly.
No.
You know, they have. But be in the same circumstances and see how much better you fare.
Mhm. Yeah,
Now,
and
suddenly
that's
that
when
shoe's on another foot.
yeah, we all have to have a little bit of compassion to know, hey, and it's not the compassion of giving somebody $1 on the street. That's not
No,
it's not what I'm talking
that's
about.
not the right kind of compassion.
No, that's self-serving, if anything, you know.
Well, it makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
help that
what are they
guy.
going to do? Is that going to pay the rent? Is that going to fix the car? Is that going to
Nothing.
do whatever it needs doing?
No.
No. And
You know,
I
and most
try I've tried to make a difference because a lot of these people I don't record these things for a reason, right?
no.
I had to go food shopping one week and there was a guy on the out there and he was asking for food. Well, I don't have no money, right? But I'm living on a
Yeah,
credit card. That's just life, right? So I went
right.
in and I got him a deli plate. And I was like, what do you got? Let me get double helpings, right? And I was like, hey man,
Yeah.
I ain't got no money. I didn't I purposely did not record because I'm not self-congratulating myself on this shit, right?
No, this is just an example of how it can happen.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
because I don't know if he's on one meal away from a low blood sugar or
Or death.
or
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 death.
death, stroke,
Yeah.
or something. I got him a bottle of water, one of the bigger, taller bottles of water, and a plate of hot food. And I was like, "Here you go, man. I ain't got nothing like that. I hope this helps. Here you go." Because
He
I
was thrilled to death, wasn't he?
he was really happy about it, and
Yeah.
I just, I think the little voice kicked in, the little sense, the third eye, whatever, kicked in and said, "This guy's for real. He's not asking. I've never seen this guy before." And I purposely, I could have recorded that, but that would have been self-aggrandizing. Just, oh, look how great of a person. I don't need that,
I've
right?
seen that. I'm not impressed with it,
No,
and
me
and
neither.
and it's not about that when you do that. I have my own ways of dealing with charity, and I'm outside of that loop now. we shut down what we were doing and said, "That's it. We've had it."
Hmm.
And but I've seen the grifters too. I mean, they're all out there. All of
Yeah.
them are out there.
And
And
I'm
if you're
finding
not
myself,
intelligent about it, you can find yourself on the wrong end of a nozzle of a gun.
yep,
You
I'm
know,
with
so
our Keith on many points, many points.
I am too.
And he does his stuff personally, and that's what I do. I do my stuff personally. I
Yeah.
don't give to an organization because I've been involved with them.
Yeah.
They skim almost to the very bottom. You hear skim off
Many
the
of
top?
them.
No, it's
Not
most
all
of
of
it.
them. No, we have a tendency to
Right.
say all of them. They all don't, but
Right.
many of them do, and most of the most well-known ones do that. Where almost all of the money out of a dollar bill, the individual it's intended for is getting 4 cents.
Yep.
That's not uncommon with some of these bigger organizations.
Yeah, that's why I
Because
do things one to one as much
I
as I
do
can.
too.
And I don't
And
know what's going to happen with this organization, but I know what happens with me. So I can do that on my own hand. I mean, for me to the person,
yeah.
not for me to somebody who I'm kind of trusting to make it happen, but me to the person.
Well, this is going to sound really bizarre to you. The 3-person is going to make every difference too. And that is socks. Of all the things in the world, socks make a difference.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for them to get socks. Now you can buy socks in a big package of them. A big white package would cost you about $10, maybe 12. Simple cotton socks are the hardest thing for the organizations to get and the hardest things for a homeless person to get. And if you buy a bag of socks and you go out into a group of people, maybe you got 10 of those bags. You were able to save up a bunch of bags and hand out fresh, clean socks. Do you know people weep over those? They do. They weep over them because it is so hard for them to get that. It's hard for them to get underclothes. The organizations are not allowed to wash underclothes and hand out underclothes. They're not allowed to. And I say the used underclothes. Okay. They might be pristine, but if they're not in a package, an organization is not permitted by law to hand those out because of a disease. They're worried that disease might be harbored in a used set of underclothes, and with good reason. I mean, look at it. We just came outside of a plague. So, you go out and get a variety of fresh, clean underwear in a package. I'll say that because if you take them out of a package, people will take them and probably bawl while they got it. Briefs, really hard to get, really hard for men.
I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember. See what I can do.
Had a friend who would go to the Goodwill, pick up a bunch of the nastiest, crappiest old handbags she could find. Okay, not necessarily that they were in bad shape, but they were older. She would go get a bunch of those bags and fill them with women's hygiene products.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get them on the street. You can't get them. You can't
That
afford to get them.
I do know how big of a deal that is
It
out
is
there.
very much so.
I do. I have actually gone and taken people to Walgreens and Walmart and said, "Let's go. Let's go. You come on, let's go." No, I didn't pick somebody out from random. I mean,
No,
there's
but
always been a
somebody
backstory.
said, yeah, yeah. But she would put a hairbrush and a comb in there. Maybe a lip balm, you know. When you're out outdoors, you're subject to all kinds of weather. A simple lip balm not only can go on the lips, but on the cheeks. How sunburned have you seen people get?
Mm,
If she could
mhm,
afford it, she could find some samples. She'd throw sun screen in her. A dry shampoo. You
mhm,
know, she'd make up these bags, hand them out. People were thrilled to get those. You know, it's little things like that that make a terrific difference on the street. And
mhm.
the one who doesn't want it, remember their face. They're out there grifting, guaranteed.
Mhm.
You know, the one who comes
I
to you and
believe it.
says, "I'm a teacher at El Paso High School, and I'm broken down. Can you spare $5 for some gas?" That's a grifter.
Yeah. Yeah.
He chose me one day. He got told, but
Mhm.
um, men men have needs as well. You know,
Mhm.
whether it's socks, a a simple knit cap can
Mhm.
mean the difference between freezing to death and doing all right. Gloves, you know, in the
Oh yeah.
harsh times.
Yeah, these are human needs.
Yeah.
And mm, okay, well, Lynn, it's been 2 hours and it's an off day show. I get it. We did some good groundwork here tonight, covered a lot of good topics and talked about them very in depth. And I appreciate that. I appreciate where we did go. And I'm going to have to wrap it up. It's
Terrific.
been a
No, it's
great
all fun.
show. Oh, it's been a great panel. And I've got some chores I got to take care of. I know it's middle of the night and all, but I still got stuff to do, you know.
Well,
So, and I'm
it's a
hungry
quarter
now.
of noon. A quarter noon. Gee whiz, boy, am I tired. It's almost midnight here, and I have not had a lot of rest this week.
Okay.
But
Well,
I just felt it was really necessary to come on tonight for some reason. So
it was because I was in a very angry way, but I'm better now.
excellent.
I'm better now.
Yeah, I
And
hate
thank you
seeing
for
you
coming on.
suffer. You're welcome. I
It
hope that
was,
you don't make yourself suffer anymore.
I won't. I'm a knee jerk reaction. Now I'm better. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
next time you'll know how quicker get over it.
Yep. Okay. Well, everybody, my screen over here is frozen, so I don't even know what's going on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. It has been the best show since the last show. And thanks everybody for coming out because I know it was a Friday, unexpected. I got to work tomorrow. That's just sometimes it's one of those. We
Yeah,
need you to volunteer, so I'm telling you to do it. Type,
voluntold, huh?
yeah, voluntold. So I'm gonna go on. I got to get the rest of everything done, and just I'm hungry. I want to eat something. So everybody, thanks for coming out. Lynn, thanks for helping my limping show along tonight.
Oh, You don't have a limping show. You do very well all by yourself.
Thank you. I thought the first hour was okay. I was a little
I
still
listened to
recovering.
some of it. I actually got home about what 9:30,
Hmm.
and I thought I had him down. He's outside, putzing around.
Oh boy, he's
I'm gonna have to just take that walker away from him.
yeah,
Gave him to rest a little bit.
yeah. Okay, yeah. You need to rest. He needs to rest.
We accept all positive vibration.
Yes,
So thank you.
it is
again.
on the way to you now, both of you.
Love and
So,
light to Raven. Have a
yes.
good week, dear.
Raven, talk to you soon. I know your battery went dead on your phone
Mhm.
because what these phones do is when the battery goes out, it swaps to default and cuts off. So she was having it sideways and it swapped to regular, and I
Well,
figured
that was
what
a
was
pretty good idea that it was about ready to go blitz.
yeah. Okay.
Thank everybody at the chat room.
Yes. Thanks everybody. Again, thanks for coming by. It's the Quantum Show. Best show since the last show. Everybody take it easy. Have a good week, rest of the week, weekend, whatever your day it is for you. And keeping it quantum. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Pushing buttons. Pushing buttons. Let me push this other button. I'm going to push the
We'll
other
figure
button.
it out here. It's gonna happen.
There we go. Pushing buttons.